Hi guys, Kess here. Welcome in. I do apologize for the gap between content posts, but the holidays were a little challenging for me and excited to get back up here, overcoming some of these technological difficulties and drop some fresh content for you all. Remember to hit that subscribe button as this is a fresh YouTube page, and I look forward to making more content throughout the year. Today I wanted to go over a little bit about the financial planning that I have done going into van life. As I've gone through homelessness, the goal was always to try to get into a home. However, as the cost of living has just skyrocketed in the United States, I'm forced to look at other alternatives to how I can live. Now, as things currently stand in 2026, your average cost for rent on kind of more the low average end is around $1,400 a month in the US. Where I live in California, it's more like $2,100. And the cost of utilities can be anywhere from 400 plus a month. If you add in streaming and other types of entertainment and luxuries, it can certainly skyrocket. But based on the calculations that I ran, that covers electricity, natural gas, water, sewer, internet, trash recycling, which is a pretty substantial toll. Fortunately, here in the US, you can find apartment complexes where it's all built into your rent and the landlord will take care of some of those things. However, oftentimes things like internet, electricity will still fall on your shoulders. And then of course we have the average cost of groceries here in the US, which I think we all know is ridiculous at this point. In fact, doing some research for an individual adult, it looks like it's about $370 on the conservative end just to feed oneself here in the US. You add that all together, looking at the math of it all, and you were looking at around $2,100 a month conservative to get myself into a studio, roommate situation, just to get back to living a normal life. And in California, more like $2,800, $2,900 to get into a living situation like that. This is my home, and I want to continue to weather this storm the best way possible, put myself in the best position for the next phase in our society that is yet to come. So why not look at some alternative living situations and maybe go out and have an adventure, and have something to create some content about and learn together. And that's where the van life research came in. I started digging in many months ago, and the numbers haven't really changed all that much. The average cost for fuel and travel on the conservative end can be anywhere from about $300 to $400 a month. Adding in fuel for generator power, those types of things, 450 is a reasonable estimate to just keep it light, low profile, not move around too much, stay stationary. That's a great place to start. We also have internet. I've been very fortunate that a member of my community has blessed me with a Starlink mini, so I am ready to go with internet. It's just about activating the subscription once the time comes, and the unlimited roam will be $165 a month. That is a drastic increase from what you will pay at an apartment or living at home, where you're probably going to see a bill somewhere between $80 to $120 a month, kind of on the low conservative end. And of course, if you're paying for high-speed internet, you will pay a lot more. The other thing was groceries. Groceries are going to be just a little bit higher for groceries and food, and part of that is just you're out a little bit more. Certainly attempting to cook as much as possible, get a hot plate. I have things to cook with, and just try to make the most of it and try to live as conservatively as possible, especially in the early months as I'm kind of learning my way and getting a feel for everything. But the costs will be just a little bit higher, as there will be the occasional eating out and things like that, where sometimes you're just not going to be able to avoid it depending on the day. The other thing was the estimated insurance cost. Now, I ran this based off of the type of vans that I was looking for, which tend to be late 90s, early 2000s, older models with high mileage, maybe a rebuilt engine or transmission, which is fine, just please be running, as I do not have the skill set to do any of that type of work. But the insurance cost looks like it's going to be around $135 a month just for basic liability, and I think given that we are looking for an older used van, that's a great place to start. Be very frugal and keep the costs as minimal as they need to be. And then of course you need to make a small budget for monthly maintenance. This could be picking up oil, fluids or anything like that you need for the vehicle. And that can be anywhere from 50 to 100. It can be several $100s a month if you have a bad month and you need to get some work in. But I think having a target goal of being able to earn enough to afford about $50 to $75 a month in maintenance fees, I think will hopefully cover oil and all those types of things that I might need to keep myself running. All that kind of adds up to a grand total of about $1,250. Living conservatively, that's with a generator, that's with internet. You will not have access to a restroom. You will need to make access to a restroom possible for yourself. So that comes with some lifestyle things. I have a dog. My dog's about $120 a month. She needs food, treats, and things to entertain her. So that's, of course, something with my lifestyle that I am incorporating into this planning a little bit more, as well as my cell phone bill and a gym membership. And gym memberships, they kind of are all over the place, but you can find one for about $30 to $40 a month. I'm getting help right now with one that I have not been able to go to the last few months, and it's about $14 a month, and it does have a shower, so I can have access to clean myself and not be smelly during this lifestyle phase. So all in all, about $1,500 compared to $2,000 or $3,000 to just live in an apartment. And of course, this lifestyle comes with challenges, logistical challenges, especially as I have a dog. However, I cannot, in this position, ignore the opportunities that present themselves by choosing a path where my monthly costs will be significantly lower and choosing not to wait out the Section 8 waivers to find a place to live. This is obviously a drastic move, and it may not be for everybody, but I would encourage you guys to consider and ask yourself, is this worthwhile maybe for you? Maybe you're single, maybe it's just you and a partner or a friend. Could this be something viable for you to save some money, cut back a little bit, and still be able to achieve the goals that you have for yourself? I look forward to sharing more with you guys as we continue forward. We've continued raising funds for the van on GoFundMe, and I'm incredibly blessed to have such an amazing community behind me. I look forward to getting you guys more updates soon. Make sure to subscribe and save and share with any of your friends, and I will catch you guys on the next stream.